I'm going to lead another practice shortly, but before I do, I'd like to mention that during the practice, I'll invite you to place your hand over your heart, just like this. This comes from somebody I was very fortunate to be on retreat with, an American, Chris Germer, who teaches at Harvard University. And when we do that, place our hand on our heart, it's like a gesture of kindness to ourselves. So maybe helping us be with something that's a bit more difficult. But let's go into the practice now. Let's lead this practice. This practice is called Soften, Soothe and Allow. So sitting comfortably, as we're learning to and getting used to, making any adjustments in your posture you feel a need to. And if you're happy to, closing your eyes over, lowering your gaze. I invite you to breathe in a little deeper than you normally would. And both your in-breath and out-breath should be equal in length. So you may find it helpful to count to a count of 3 or 4 for both your in-breath and your out-breath. So now we're doing 2 things, breathing and counting. And even though we're doing these 2 things, you may find that thoughts continue to come to mind, and that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. And what we're doing is focusing on breathing and in counting. And being aware of your breath in your body. Noticing your breath in your body. Perhaps noticing it around your mouth or nose. Or noticing movement in your chest as your lungs fill with air. Perhaps noticing your belly rising as you breathe in deeply. And then following again as you breathe out. Being with the flow of breath in and out of your body. Noticing the movement in your body as you breathe. Perhaps noticing that your breath's not just in the front of your body. Noticing movement in the side or even in the back of your body as you breathe in and out. And also noticing, what does it feel like when you breathe out? What do you notice? What are you aware of? Perhaps being aware of your body relaxing a little as you breathe out. And we can see if our minds can learn from our bodies. So as we breathe out and our body relaxes, we can see if our mind can learn to let go of thoughts and thinking. Taking care, though, we're not trying to suppress our thoughts or get rid of them. We allow them to arise as they naturally do. And then each time we breathe out, we can let them go. No need to hang on to them or get involved, caught up in stories. Learning that as we breathe out and our body relaxes, our mind can let go of a thought and thinking. And in doing this, settling ourselves into our practice. And before we move on, we let go of counting and return our breathing to normal, whatever is normal for you. Then we drop our awareness a little deeper into our bodies, asking ourselves, what do I notice in my body just now? So for me, I can feel my hands resting on my lap. Feel the pressure of sitting in a chair. I'm feeling my skin's warm. So you might like to start at your head, working your way down through your body to your toes, seeing what you notice. Or you might prefer just to sit, see what comes to you. Either way is okay. And when we do notice something, not get involved in a big investigation, we're simply noticing what's there. And if we notice something that's difficult, perhaps something physical, pain or a tweak, a twinge somewhere, or maybe a feeling, an emotion, then we can place our hand over our heart in a gesture of comfort to ourselves. Or if you prefer not to put your hand in your heart, some other gesture you're happy to make, one of comfort. And then with whatever's causing you difficulty in mind, and saying the following words to yourself. Soften. 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 And just noticing how we feel after we say these words and when we're saying them. And then to help us be with whatever is there, saying soothe, soothe, soothe. And in acceptance of our experience, whatever it is, then saying, allow, 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 allowing whatever is there, to be present. And we can use soften, soothe, allow any time in our practice, with any difficulty. And as we continue with this practice, if you're happy to, returning your hand to your lap. And feeling your feet on the ground, connected to the earth. And as we continue sitting, moving to resting where we are. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just to be here now, in this moment, to be fully present. And as we sit resting, perhaps noticing after a while that our minds may not stay at rest. Our minds may be busy, involved in thinking. And that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. And when we notice that, we can use the support to help us in our practice. And we can use our breath like we did earlier in the practice. Or we can use sound as a support. And when we use sound as a support, we're open to all the sounds, the ones our body makes, and the sounds that are external to us. And we're not listening for a particular sound, or even identifying the sound. Allow the sounds to come to you like a sound wave. And if you notice your mind wandering off into thought again, just noticing that, thinking. And bringing awareness back to sound. Hearing the sounds that surround you, that make up the soundscape. Resting in the midst of sound. What's happening now? And if you're caught up in thinking and noticing that, then that noticing is a mindful moment, a moment of awareness, being with your experience. And any time you find your mind wandering off into thought, simply noticing that. This is our practice. Noticing our experience moment to moment. And this is our training, and why they call it practice. And shortly we'll end the practice and you'll hear the sound of the bell. But before that, let's spend a little longer in silence.